Guilty balls. That was a good one.
Were you doing bass that time? I think that was some bass.
I usually do bass, but this time I wasn't sure what I was doing, so I just kept on typing.
So I want to do a shout out here. I don't normally do shout outs, but this for all of our Michigan friends. Sorry, some gradients just distracted me. But for our Michigan friends, we have a coffee place called Bigby. They actually started when Kilted and I were in college. One of the first people doing it was RRA on our floor, I think. Or was it?
Yeah, he was one of the original owners.
Yeah, and so that it was kind of a cool thing there. But I had an award ceremony today, and Bigby donated coffee, hot cocoa, and cider. Totally nice. Not like I didn't solicit it. They were like, hey, you need to have something to drink for this award ceremony. We're bringing this. I'm like, okay, what do I owe you? And they were like, nope, it's on us. We're donating it. Thank you for, everything. And I'm like, sweet.
That is awesome. See, earlier when you said you had to go get cider, I thought you were drinking a hard cider. Like you misplaced your man card or something.
Shout out, but I thought about making hard cider with Kraken.
I think that would be good. I don't think I've ever had anything bad mixed with Kraken.
Yeah, I've never mixed Kraken with anything.
It's good. It's good. So, not that we give financial advice on this podcast, but today a very good friend of mine and I were talking. I explained to him a little bit about my ape, and his wife's mind was blown. and they said that they were trying to talk to somebody this weekend about crypto, but their knowledge is very lacking. And so we were talking a little bit, and he's like, well, I have $4,000. I was thinking of doing some, like if I had like emergency investing. Yeah. I said, I don't give financial advice. You are my friend. Get a Coinbase account and buy an ETH. You will not be disappointed.
I think that's not bad advice. You heard me earlier. I had somebody who Coinbase is doing a promotion, and they were like, okay, we're going to put $100 in. And I said, okay. I'm like, you want advice? And they're like, what? I go, throw it into Shiba. And they're like, Shiba Inu? And I'm like, yeah. And then what Kilted is laughing about is then as I was leaving, Kilted was like, well, that's a good bet. And I'm like, he goes, Ethereum's always a good bet. I'm like, no, Ethereum is safe. I go, Shiba's a bet. I go, that's gambling. And the friend was like, wait, what? I just bought that. That's good. I'm like, yeah. I go, it's gambling. I go, Shiba's a pure gamble. Like, fun. That's fun. They're like, no, I was trying to invest. I'm like, not with $100. If you're putting $100 on, you're playing blackjack.
Yeah, that's true. So that's true.
If I wonder how it is for other people. So in my mind, you'll have to tell me what your thoughts are.
Okay.
I'm putting somewhere around $1,000 in stocks, crypto, whatever. I'm thinking that's me investing. And if I'm putting in like $100, that's me gambling. Like that's what I would throw in a casino and not even think about it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Like there is that certain level when it's like, okay, if this hits, this is going to be great. And if it doesn't, that's fine. Like some of the early stuff that I bought, because I really had no idea. Like when I first started buying crypto, I was only listening to a couple different podcasts. I was still trying to figure out the ones I liked. Jason wasn't giving me any advice because he had already been investing, I want to say a few months before I did, but he didn't want to sway me or anything as far as like, hey, do this, don't do that. Just because he had done his research and he's just like, you need to do your research. And so there were things that I put in, I might have put a couple $100 in here, a couple $100 in there, but it's stuff I honestly don't really pay attention to because it's either going to hit really big and be worth it. I mean, even if it doubles, yeah, it's great to make an extra $400, but it's not really going to change anything for me, thankfully.
Right, exactly. So if you keep seeing me look to the left and like half paying attention, That is because I'm writing on the Uncaged Discord at the same time. So if you're wondering, I'm still obsessed with the Uncaged. And so right now, they had a town hall today that I listened to.
I missed that town hall.
Yeah.
How was it?
So it was good. I was like half paying attention, kind of like I am right now while we're doing this.
So for me today, I was debating on putting some more money in Cardano. And I was debating on putting that van money into Cardano so I could get to my Lambo faster. But instead I put it in Ethereum and be safe. But I was debating on it, as kind of knocking around in my head about putting some more towards it, because everything, I mean, when we're recording this is what, the 18th today, everything's been red all week, which is a great correction. We talked about that. The corrections are really good. And one of the people that I like to listen to on YouTube, the Crypto Rain channel, he's the one who talks about buy when it's boring. And actually he was just talking about Cardano and the one I was listening to today. So I was like, okay, this is too many things leaning that way. Like I've been thinking about it, you know, it's down right now. And then, you know, hearing Jay talk about it. So
Yeah.
I just bought some just before we started recording.
Nice. I bought a little bit more Loop Ring right as we started. So
Nice.
for my awards thing, I'm still drinking some of my Big B coffee and got yelled at. That seems like a bad thing to do late at night, but I am who I am. So
You know, well, you're going to be up another few hours. We have games to play tonight.
that's true. So listeners, I want to regale you in a not appropriate funny story.
Awesome.
So if you are listening in other parts of the world, this story may not resonate with you. So we'll try to give you some background about this. But I was doing an example in my class the other day, and I was talking about how we can use chemistry to find out unknowns in a substance. And so being the coffee drinker I am and drinking coffee, I said, hey, I used trying to find the amount of caffeine in a cup of coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being the idiot that I am, I was like, okay, so imagine you go down to Beaners and you want to get a cup of coffee and you want to know how much caffeine is in the coffee. So if you are from anywhere besides Michigan, Beaners is a very bad derogatory term that should not be said, right?
Yes,
Kilted,
very much so.
Right? The problem is in Michigan, Beaners was the name of Big B. So Big B, when it was first made, was called Beaners because it was coffee beans. They were known by Beaners throughout the state. And when they went national, people were like, you can't call this Beaners. That's Big B was like, what? We didn't know that was a bad word. And people were like, yeah, that it's a bad word. And so they changed their name to Big B. But those of us who like were part of Beaners to begin with.
Because even when did that switch? I mean, it had to have opened around 93 or 94.
So it opened around 93 or 94. And I think the switch happened maybe 99.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. It was before the 2000s.
Right. And so they switched their name. And so every once in a while, I forget and I say, and so all the students are like, what? And I'm like, I mean Big B. I don't mean Beaners. I'm so sorry. That's what its name used to be. And they're all like laughing. I'm like, gosh darn it. So that was funny. But this also ties in today because Lucky Manakee Project made their own release of coffee. And it's expensive. I got yelled at for buying it. I bought 2 pounds of it. And it was $50, which is very expensive coffee. But my thought is myself, Kilted, some other really good friends of ours all own Lucky Manakees. And the profits go to do you pronounce it Dow?
Mm-hmm.
So the profits go to the Dow. And so I'm like, really? The extra money is going to me.
You're like buying it wholesale.
I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm paying 50, but the profits kind of go to my company. If you can say Lucky Manatee is my company, which I think we can say it's the same as when I own stock in a company. So,
Yeah. And you got free shipping if you bought two.
and I got free
So
shipping, which was $8. So really, I made money on the deal,
yeah, and you get coffee.
and I get caught.
That's awesome.
So we're waiting on the sake too, the sake, and I think they're doing a whiskey release. So both of those I'm excited.
Yes, that should be really cool. So well, after we recorded the other day, Gina and I watched the episode right away, which was super cool. Well, I was talking about the stuff with your daughter, and she really wanted to hear it. So I was like, let's just watch it. So we were watching it,
Nice.
and the episode that came on right after that, I had my same staple pigeon shirt on. So on Tuesdays when we record, I am not allowed to wear my staple pigeon shirt. So I don't know what I'm gonna wear. So because it went to the episode where Joe was on with us, and I took off my shirt, and she's like, why are you wearing the same shirt every single episode? So I'm happy to be wearing something different today.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. So let's take a second here and talk about the Uncaged Town Hall, shall we?
Yes, for sure.
I know we're kind of running a little late, people, so we'll try to make it fast. So I've listened to this, and here's how stupid obsessed I am. Kilted. I left my practice today, told one of the captains, I'm like, run this drill. Ran to my room, got my earbud, came back to practice, and proceeded to coach for the next half hour with an earbud in, listening to the town hall.
Wow.
I say I was like missing some of the stuff. It was because I was actually coaching, 30 kids at the same time while I was trying to listen to them.
So is it more that you are really obsessed with the Uncaged, or you've lost all your shits to give for your kids? I mean,
no. Because this is a new season, so this is only day 3.
Yeah, that's true.
So I still have my shits, and 2 of them are my own daughters, so I really can't get away from that.
Okay, both are. That's awesome. I knew the one was.
I didn't really give the other one a choice. So.
Good. That's so smart.
I'm like, you got to do something. This is what you're going to do. I'm like, and they were like, you know what? We don't want to actually compete. The one was, I'm like, that's great. Don't compete.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to be working out every day, and you're going to be fit, and you're not going to be lazy, and you're going to be a stud. I go, the benefits for the older daughter when she went through it were too big to pass up. I'm like, the benefit was just too big. And
Yeah.
I can't allow you to not get that same benefit now that I know. With the oldest one, I didn't know what kind of benefit it would give. Plus, she was doing another sport. But the middle one, the things she gained have been immeasurable as a parent, not as a coach. As a parent, and I'm like, I'm going to make sure the other one gets that same. So, and
that's
if
super awesome.
Competes, that's great, but she doesn't need to compete to get those benefits.
Nope.
So anyway, okay, back to the town hall. So interesting things from the town hall. The first thing is so they're releasing, the packs every week. They sold out in under 2 minutes the first time. You and I tried to get when we didn't. This time they literally, it was 30 seconds and they were sold out. But they've added a new benefit for people who have the packs.
Oh, wow.
If you hold a pack, so if you bought one, you can reserve a pack for the next week.
No way.
So this week they gave out 5 packs. 2 of them were reserve packs from the week before. So they still gave the public their shot because that was the deal.
Okay, so it was still the 3.
It was still 3 for the public, but then the others got it reserved. So they're giving pack holders, they get that. So they're adding value to the packs now, which were supposed to be just a cool thing. Now you get value for the pack, plus you get the value of the nails. And they're like, they think that these packs are going to get harder and harder as the months and years and everything go on.
For sure.
So they're like, just holding the pack, not even the card, the pack is going to become really worthwhile. And I'm like, that's kind of brilliant.
That's super awesome. So are any packs on the are are there any packs for sale yet where people are
Haven't-
doing that, or if it's not open?
I haven't looked, and I don't understand how they think the packs are going to get harder to get, because literally they sold out in 30 seconds. Multiple
Yeah.
people lost gas. How do you think it's going to get harder than 30 seconds? They were sold out the instant you said you could buy them, they were gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't get harder to get a pack than that.
No.
I guess maybe, in fact, I imagine they'll get easier because they'll be sold in the secondary.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the first big thing. The packs now have value.
That's awesome.
The next thing is they're doing some partnerships and collaborations. They won't tell us who, but one of them had Panda so excited, he almost spilled the beans because he had just gotten off like a phone call meeting. He goes with somebody who would blow our minds.
That's awesome.
Crazy. And he's like, I can't keep talking or I'll slip. So he didn't. They said the OGs get the limited edition sketch, and they're just trying to figure out which sketch they want to do.
Okay.
So they're trying to mint them all for us and get them all set. And they're going to be collecting wallets in the coming week. So keep an eye out on the Discord for that.
Awesome.
Right. And they're going to have an OG challenge coming, so people can get OG status.
What if we're already OG status?
No, I think it's just extra.
Oh man.
They're working
That's
with
exciting.
LabBot to get it so we can be verified.
Nice.
And they said, we're never going to DM you for your wallet, so don't do it. They're going to clean up the Discord channels. The voting for the charity is almost done.
Okay, nice.
And then they want to do something with women in NFTs. So
Okay.
they don't like it that 5% of the art holders are women. And they said, this has to be taken with a grain of salt, but they still find that that's really disturbing. Gradients was really big on that. And so I messaged Gradients today and said, I need to put you in touch with Taco Bell.
Good idea.
And she's like, who's Taco Bell? And so she must not have watched that interview. So we'll have to chastise her.
Yeah.
But I think Taco Bell has some big drops, some big art, and has a real desire to help women in the space.
Mm-hmm.
And so if Gradients has this huge desire to help women in this space, and Taco Bell has a huge desire, I'm like, I need to get those two together, right? I need to fan that flame. And maybe that's a little Messiah complex going on. But the reality is it resonated with me that what she was saying was the same stuff Taco Bell was saying. I know both of them. So I'm like, I want to put you guys together.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's
And
super awesome.
get out of the way and let them be awesome. So,
Mm-hmm.
and there was one more thing that I have to talk about.
Sweet. Jamie's waiting patiently.
Good.
Thank you, James.
So here's the thing. Zoltrain got on today. Zol, and he entered the stage during the town hall, and he was like, I want to introduce myself. I'm one of the moderators, blah, blah, blah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, good idea. Thanks for doing that. He goes, I also wanted to address, I know there's people out there who think that I might be a bot. And he's like, not a bot. And the founders are like, who would ever think you're a bot? Why would anybody think you're a bot? I'm like, you didn't finish listening to that episode when I said, I think Zal's a bot. So I posted like in the chat, I'm like, oh, that's me. And they're like, it's Ballbuster. And I'm like, and I still think 75% of me says he's real and 25% he's a bot. Now, that was after the town hall. So Zal, if you're listening to this, Kilted and I had a talk, and Kilted has convinced me up to 90% that you are real. And if you are wondering why there is still 10%, and I said this in the Discord, but it was one of those times where the Discord was flying, so I don't think people saw it. But here's the thing, Zal. Nobody is that nice. No human.
I'm not even that nice.
No human is that nice. Kilton is one of the nicest people, hands down. and he's not that nice. No one's that nice. So I feel like you're real, but you're really nice. And I'm having a real hard time getting over the fact that you're that nice. So here's what I propose, Saul. You need to say something mean to me. You can be like, Ballbuster, you're a dick. Be like, eat poop, Ballbuster. You can just be like, you're a really mean guy, Ballbuster, which is probably, I can't imagine Zal saying anything meaner than you're not nice. So, Zal, if you want to push me up to that 95, 99% confidence that you're real, I need you to get something mean. I'm going to tag you on this episode link and with the Zal challenge. So that's the Kilted Balls challenge, that Zal has to say something mean, because I honestly 100%, nothing up the sleeves, don't believe you can do it. I don't think you can say anything mean, Zal. What do you think? Am I off base? Do you think you can?
I think that's a good challenge. And he's made comments that he listens to the episodes, or at least that.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. It's awesome.
But he is, seriously, have you ever seen anybody on Discord as nice and polite as Zal? Ever?
Nope.
Never, ever. So you could be a unicorn.
Yep. I saw that he put his Twitter stuff up today. I'll have to follow.
He's put it a few times, and I think I
follow
follow
him on Twitter.
I'm going to make sure I tag him.
Nice.
So hopefully he does that. So we're going to get off of this episode, people. We're going to end it on the Zal challenge. Check out the Uncaged in the town hall. It's kicking up. They're going to be releasing their second character soon. When they do, we'll let you know. We'll tweet it out. Get one. That's not financial advice. It's just being like awesome. Like,
yeah.
That cool. And
if you're thinking about getting ETH, it's on sale right now. That's not financial advice either.
No. And if you want to do something else that I think this is my pick of the day. You ready? Pick up a Lucky Manakee. Lucky Manakees right now, I think, are like $20. And they're doing some amazing things at Lucky Manakee. Amazing things. And for $20, you can get in on that. I don't understand how they're $20. Seriously.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of Ethereum in my wallet right now, and I almost was like, I'm just buying 100 of them. I'm just gonna, all those ones for $20, I'm just gonna clean them all up.
Well, I don't know if you listened to that episode, and I guess we're getting all along, but recently Gary, it was on the Props and Drops where Gary Vee was talking about further down the road, and he's gonna find a dead, whatever happened to it, it just died.
Yeah.
And he's gonna buy all of them and redo it. So I believe he used the Yetis as an example. He's like, if the Yetis don't make it through the crypto winter, I'm gonna buy all 10,000 of them. I'm gonna completely revamp it, and they're gonna be the new hot thing. So
I like
at $20, I mean, they're doing some crazy stuff for it to be that low right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you get around the fact they've got their own coffee brand now? They're releasing their own personalized sake line. They're gonna release Manakee Spirits with like whiskey and vodka. They were on Times Square billboard. They have their own store. They released the first ever arcade game last night on OpenSea. Like, you literally get to play it on OpenSea. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
They have the Manakee and the Manakee Gang. They have the DAO. How are they $20? Like, I don't know of any other project that is doing that much hard work.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
That, like, there's projects
they care.
They care. Weird. Fame Lady Squad cares. Uncaged cares. Lucky Manakees care. Unicorns, scoop dogs or whatever they are.
Yep.
You know, there's a big difference. Anyway, we're going long. Thank you all so much for joining us. Zal, I expect to see something in the Discord. Ballbuster's a dick is my preferred one. Thank you all for joining us. You guys were awesome. This is Ballbuster signing off.
Kill the Dragon, Jared. Love you all.